public testing sites and get tested. Today, City Council passed a second rental relief package in the amount of $20 million. I want to thank the members of City Council for their unanimous support of the program. The amount includes $15 million from the Coronavirus Aid Relief and Economic Security, the CARES Act, also known as the CARES Act, and $5 million from generous donors who understand the impact of COVID-19 that is having on our working families. Let me also say to the people in the city of Houston, corporations, businesses, that you can still give. The total is $20 million. 5 of that comes from the private donors. Houston Endowment, the Greater Houston Community Foundation Relief Fund, Janice McNair of the Texans, Janice McNair, the Kinder Foundation. They make up that $5 million. They've got a few more calls out, but there's a tremendous need in our city. And so let me encourage you, please, if you will contribute. All of that, we're using Baker Ripley, the nonprofit, to administer the program, so the dollars don't come to the city. They go to Baker Ripley for the Houston Recovery Relief Fund. And things are different this time around. For example, the funds will be committed based on a vulnerability prioritization, not first come, first served. And so long as the funding is available, those who meet the higher prioritization criteria will be able to move to the front of the line. What that simply means, we're taking a look at the lowest, who's paying the lowest amount, for example, on the rent, and then we work up. Because if you're at the lower level and you're not able to pay, pretty much the only place left is to the streets. So we want to make sure that people don't find themselves on the streets. Then a part of the deal that the landlords and who are participating in this program, they have agreed to waive all late fees and interest for that month. We allow for interest penalty-free payment plan for any rent due in excess of $2,112. The landlords are agreeing to refrain from initiating eviction process or rescind any prior eviction process. They agreed to a payment plan for any balance beyond that amount of $2,112. They agreed to refrain from evictions through September of 2020. And they agreed to enter into a payment agreement with all tenants of property under the following conditions, which means that if just one tenant at a particular apartment complex receives the cash rental assistance program, none of the tenants at that apartment complex will be evicted through September of this year. So we've done our best to leverage this $20 million, and I hope that number will grow. And I want to thank the Houston Apartment Association and others for working with us to assist people at a very vulnerable time as we all work to deal with COVID-19. So to qualify for the rental assistance, the person must live in the city of Houston and be behind on rent payments for August or prior months and cannot pay the rent due to economic challenges specifically caused by COVID-19. Even if only one tenant in an apartment complex qualifies for rental assistance, the no eviction rule applies to all tenants on the property, and we also ask the landlords to waive the late fees and interest, as I've indicated. I want to stress that this is no perfect formula. There is no perfect plan, and we know there are Houstonians with a lot of needs as a result of the pandemic, and that is why I'm urging Congress to put more money for rent relief in the second CARES Act package, and I'm calling on our state leadership to address the needs of Texans. Cities, as I've said before, cities cannot do it alone, and we are trying our best, but we should not be the only resource looking out for families in terms of rental assistance. So again, I want to thank the council members for their support, for their advocacy, and for working with the administration in getting this done. Now let me pause and let me bring up Dr. Peirce.